Hey guys,
I'm Sarah.
I'm Kaitlyn.
And we are your best friends.
Welcome back to our channel. Today we're doing a really awesome, informative, and helpful video. How to dress cute for guys while honoring God. And we actually got this video idea from a comment that we received. So we're just gonna read the comment out to you so you can see the general question. I find it really difficult to meet Christian guys. I would love some advice on how to dress cute or how to dress when going out to meet guys in a God-honoring way. So this is going to be a great video about all of those things.
Yeah. And before we even get started, we have to make the disclaimer. We have to let you know that dressing in a God-honoring way is not what you do to be approved by God and loved by God and what marks you as a good Christian. Remember, man looks at the outward appearance, God looks at the heart. So we don't dress modestly to do right and be perfect for God that he would love us back. He already chose us. Jesus came here, he walked with the sinners, he walked with the prostitutes, he walked with the tax collectors. He walked with, in that culture, the worst of the worst. And that's all to say that God's not needing us to fill in this black and white and be perfect for him to love us. He loved us before we even knew about him. It's that once you have received the love of God and accepted him into your heart, as a believer, what you want to do now is rearrange. Like, you start to notice, wait, I want to honor God. I want to start dressing in a way that would represent the best thing in the whole entire universe. And so this video is going to be aimed at how to dress cute and how to honor God, and it is for believers because our standard is just different than the worldly standard. We ask ourselves deep questions and we get to figure out the big picture. Why are we going to dress like this?
So before we jump into the content, please don't forget to subscribe to our channel and become a part of our friend group. And yeah, let's jump right in.
Yep. So first of all, you just want to ask yourself, and I kind of said this already, why are you going to wear what you're going to pick out? In the beginning of all this video, just always ask yourself, this is a great one to do. Why am I about to put this on? Because you'll find, if you're like me, who is a regular human being girl, sometimes I want to stand out. Sometimes I want to attract a certain kind of guy. I think we need to know why we put on certain clothes, because it turns out many times as an imperfect regular person, the reason is not always just because you just want to wear it blank and that's it.
Find your personal style, and you probably already know what it is. Just own what you like, what you feel comfortable in, and Sarah will have some extra things to add to this. But from our other video, how to get Christian guys to like you, which is where this comment came from, what we found from interviewing Christian guys is that they really aren't paying attention to certain styles, certain trends, certain types of outfits. Guys just like girls who are confident in what they wear. They said in the video they know what looks best on them. To me, translated, that means that they just own what they like and what they wear. So don't get caught up too much in the trends or needing to dress a certain way, because there's definitely not a certain way you need to dress. Most of us have a personal style. We just sometimes forget about it or don't want to look too different. I know I do. So just find what you like and own it when it comes to dressing cute, because a guy is really not going to choose you based off of if you're more of like a floral pattern girl versus like you like dark colors. So
yeah, they like
when you like.
They like it when you just wear what looks best on you. Wear what you are. And with that too, reminding you as like kind of an honest big sister moment right now, when it comes to like baggy clothes, grunge clothes, like there's certain aesthetics in our culture nowadays, and it kind of takes away the beautiful femininity.
Yes.
Yeah. From women. And you know, we're not men. We don't have the body type of men. We have a beautiful thing about our body, our curves, our nice juicy arms. We got different body parts, you know, and to hide that all up as if we're dressing up like men, it takes a lot from us. And you can do that if you would like, but I just have to be an honest sis and say men in general, they tend to gravitate towards just a woman who dresses like a woman, more girly. So if you sometimes are wearing baggy clothes, that's fine. We all wear baggy clothes, but I know personally as somebody who, like, when it comes to my body and like feeling like not as skinny and stuff like that, I would hide behind baggy clothes a lot. And I think that it took a lot from me for months and months and months, because it actually was a confidence thing. It's like a keeping my head down and wanting to like stay hidden. And so it's a deeper thing, but just wanted to point that out as guys do like a girly look, and girly doesn't fit in like floral, but it's a whole thing.
It's owning your womanness instead of trying to hide it, and that looks different for everybody.
Yeah.
And also, if you dress baggy or grunge, that is also probably the type of guys you're gonna attract to. It's gonna be a very rare few, so just be mindful of that as well.
Yeah.
And then a quick tip when it comes to dressing in a way that honors God, I'm gonna throw out some rules throughout this video, some standards, some helpful guidelines. Just know that we don't always follow these perfectly. These are just to help you if you're trying to dress in a more God-honoring way, or you're trying to learn like what modest dressing looks like. But don't take these words as the Bible. These are just personal guidelines that we have that I think are gonna help you. One of them is to balance out your outfits. This is something that I try to do. For example, if I'm wearing a crop top, maybe instead of wearing short, tight shorts, I might go for loose, high-waisted shorts. Or if I'm wearing really tight jeans, maybe don't also go with a really tight, short shirt. You kind of get what I mean. If I'm wearing something that shows more skin on the top, then I might balance it out with something that covers more on the bottom, and vice versa. So that's just an overall general rule for balancing your outfits. If you're really looking for a practical tip for dressing in a God-honoring way, obviously there's some outfits where you'll break this rule and it doesn't look bad, but it definitely helps me when I'm trying to dress and discern what looks good and what's maybe looking not the best for my body.
Because tight and tight, I mean, basically then you can see your whole form. It's like naked just with little tight layer. And I mean, guys, they're very visual at the same time. So to show them everything you got going on, you want to consider that. Clothing, to make it actually a really deep thing, and I feel like you'll relate to this, is we can connect it a lot to how we trust God. I don't know about you, but for me and Kaitlyn, clothing sometimes is a very important thing, because it feels like it determines like how much attention we're gonna get from God. It's a big thing having to do with standing out. And so it has to do with trusting in God, because taking matters into your own hands, like there is no God who has a great man for you. It looks like showing a lot of skin or dressing a certain type of way in order that you would bait and catch the guy, because you have to do it all on your own. But there's a whole other way to live, and that's to say that God is gonna bless me with a man not because of the things that I do, but because of the Father that He is. And that starts to make us kind of want to trust God. And I don't know about you, but it's also it's a battle for me sometimes. I definitely want to wear certain clothing, certain pieces of clothes in order to attract guys and get more attention, that I would stand out. And I have to remind myself that God has a man for me, and I don't have to fight all on my own in this world as a girl to stand out. God has a man, and that man will not choose me simply because of the way that I dress. It's important for me to dress nice and womanly, but I don't need to do that when I go out with my friends and stuff in order to like be the most biggest standout.
And I think that the word standout is really important, because I think that's very deeply connected to clothing and what a lot of us are trying to do when we are dressing in a way that doesn't honor God, or we're dressing in a way that's pushing the limit. There's two little rules that I can give to help you dress in a more God-honoring way, and that's also trying to avoid tight on tight clothing. So like super tight short shorts and then a super tight crop top. Maybe balance it out with like a looser crop top. And then also wearing longer shorts or bottoms. Those rules, like culturally, a lot of those things might be accepted, or they honestly might make you feel, for example, in the gym, if you're wearing a really cute, like tight outfit, will make you feel like you're gonna be more beautiful, you're gonna stand out more. It's just a subconscious thing that we all have. So when it comes to those things, ask yourself, do I trust God with my happiness, and do I trust God with my future husband? Because if you do, it kind of sets you free to not wear things. And then when you're not wearing things for guys, you're not always looking out for guys, seeing if they're paying attention to you or not, which that's not healthy either. That's something we got to work on. So those are 2 little rules. Whether or not they're going to be difficult to apply, which they don't have to be applied perfectly, depends kind of like on Sarah's saying, how much you trust God with your happiness and with your life.
Now remember, this is a big one to drive it home. Remember that fashion and clothing, it's cultural. Just because this culture right now that we're in celebrates killing babies in the womb doesn't mean that all of a sudden killing babies in the womb is the normal. That's cultural. 1,000, 2,000 years ago in biblical times, when you were pregnant with a child, it was the most special thing in the world. And the idea of killing a baby was unreal. So all that to say, clothing is the same thing. I know some people might say, yeah, but in this day and age in America or here, clothing like this isn't even a big deal anymore. But don't forget that that's cultural and that we could live to a different standard. A lot of Christians who are going to tell you like about this video, okay, they need to calm down. Like there's nothing wrong with wearing these kinds of clothing and stuff. They're going to try to convince you that this is extra. But also, the Bible doesn't say to not have convictions. The Bible is not a Bible that says, just be happy with where you are. God does love you. Wear what makes. The Bible doesn't say it's bad to have convictions. Like if you feel convicted about wearing a certain piece of clothing because you know it's a deeper thing, you know you're wearing that for a different reason than just wearing it, take that conviction to the Lord. Remember, man, human, your friends, somebody who might take this video and think it's extra, they're still human. Go to God with your convictions, because the Bible does not say to not have convictions. The Bible is full of people at times who were pressed with 2 decisions in front of them, and one of them was the harder one and one was the easier way out. And God didn't say, it's okay, take the easier route. Sometimes it was God saying, no, go do this. So remembering, clothing is cultural, and if you feel convicted, don't run from that, because it's the world who walks around without conviction. They don't have a compass. But the Lord living inside of you, He drives us to different things for better purposes than what we even know.
Convictions make us uncomfortable.
They
could make us cringe sometimes thinking about it. A personal conviction that I have developed with clothing in the past few months, sometimes I ask myself, if I was wearing this outfit, or if I was another woman wearing this outfit, would I be comfortable with my future husband looking at me? Sometimes when a girl walks by and she's in a really skimpy outfit, and it's like, would I feel comfortable with my husband looking at that? Or would I be mad that someone is like putting bait in front of my husband's eyes? That's a really personal conviction that I have, that sometimes now when I put on an outfit, I have to check myself, because I put myself in that scenario of being married and having a husband looking at me, if that makes sense. And not everyone is always going to relate to them. Some people might think I'm crazy for saying that.
Yeah, they might say, calm down, it's not that bad. But don't listen to man. If the Lord is convicting you, stick with that.
Exactly. So that's a great example, and just to remind you, doesn't always like feel the funnest to hear, but it helps you.
Yeah.
And then when it comes to dressing modestly, honoring God with our outfits, at the end of the day, a lot of this depends on your body type as well, because something that looks inappropriate on me might look good on somebody else. I have longer legs, a longer torso, so crop tops sometimes look super cropped for me because I have more belly showing, and short shorts sometimes look a lot shorter because I have longer legs. So that might not apply if someone has a different body type.
Doesn't apply to me.
Right. So I could look, and why does one girl look super cute in an outfit, but if I put it on, I wouldn't look that great? So be aware of your body type. Be aware of the different challenges that your body type might bring. Don't be hyper focused on it, but at the end of the day, it does kind of depend on how you look in the mirror and the kind of vibes that, I think
because when I wear a tank top and it's got like that V, my boobs are popping out. And Kaitlyn might wear that same tank top and hers might not look explosive out of her shirt. And if I bend down forward, I'm going to look explosive, and she's not going to. She's going to look like an athletic girl, and I'm going to look like, hello, my name's Sarah, jiggling all over the place. don't even be mad about the kind of body type you got. Work with it. We all got stuff we got to work with. And I think it's fun to be a woman figuring out how to dress best for your personal body.
Exactly.
I heard one time somebody said to me, dress how you want. Don't think about the guys. You know, it was a Christian too. And I'm thinking, you know, am I crazy for wanting to dress a certain way in order to be modest around men? And why would they tell me that? You know, just wear what you want. A Christian said that. But I realized, you know, that advice is geared towards only my life. That's me just thinking about me, what I want to wear. As a believer, we don't live for the self. We've died to the self in order that we would truly find life living in Christ and not in Sarah and what Sarah wants. So I feel like that's important in saying, because there are going to be many Christians who are just going to tell you at the same time, just wear what you're comfortable with. But I want to post to you, it's not all about me and it's not about you. It's about the Lord, which brings us to the last point. As believers, we get the joy of not living for ourselves anymore. I think we all know that living for yourself actually brings a lot of pain, right? Sometimes we satisfy ourselves in different ways and it actually leads us more empty. Sometimes we are very insecure and it leads us to make decisions or not do something and it leaves us worse off. And the best thing as a believer is being able to say, I'm done living according to my flesh. I want to walk the way that the Lord wants me to walk, living for Christ. So dressing, all this modesty and stuff and looking cute for guys, that's about here, right? But let us not forget the greater things, like Paul would say, the greater things. And the greatest thing of all is the gospel of Christ, the good news. The fact that we are surrounded by people every single day who eternally we don't know where they're heading. So I think this is alleviating in one sense, because when all you focus on with magnifying glass is how you dress and how you can attract a cute guy, when that's what you're thinking about, it seems like a big deal. But when you start to focus on the grander things, which is the gospel, you start to get busy in life. You start to remember what you're even here for. You start to find true life. And I will pose to you that as you start walking with this greater thing in mind, with what we've been talking about, you might end up even finding God will bring to you the right man. Because as you get busy in life, focusing on what the Lord wants to do through you, because He has funner plans for you than you know. He has more purpose-filled plans. He might bring to you the man who's going to walk alongside of you with that journey. But don't let anybody tell you to just do what you want to do, because I'm going to tell you, it's not all about you as a believer. We've died to the self, and there's grander things we live for, much more joyful and eternal things.
The Word of God says that we are ambassadors to Christ wherever we go. So do I feel like an ambassador to Christ in the outfit that I'm wearing?
Exactly.
I want to ask myself that. With that, we just do want to end with one final heart check. As you become more farther along on the journey to dressing to honor God, and you're thinking about things in the way that Sarah and I are describing, as you become more modest, there is a temptation to be judgmental
or
prideful of other believers who don't dress a certain way, or who break all these rules and guidelines that I just gave you, and you don't know their background. You don't know if they just became a believer. You
don't know what clothes they have in their closet. You don't know if they can't afford appropriate clothes. You don't know.
Remember where you came from. Remember that you wore the same outfits at one point and you know how it feels in them, and sometimes it looks cute. Don't let judgment creep into your heart as you get on this journey. That's just a quick thing. And also, that's the last thing that we just wanted to say. That's it.
Yeah, that ain't love. Do not judge your sister or your brother in Christ. Don't. Let the Lord be the judge of the living and the dead, not you. Because we are all fallen. We're all on this journey of life. Ain't that the truth? With that being said, you guys, please subscribe to our channel. Join our friend group. We've been getting lots more comments, so comment something below if you want us to make a video on it.
Yep. This is our third video based off of the comments, so have at it.
Have at it. We love you, and we'll see you in the next video.
Bye.